Papoose, you have my lawyer. If you can't afford to retain a lawyer, since your lawyer that the number you gave us has not been retained yet, I told you I'll pay for it. If somebody over there that loves you wants to pay for it, that will make me happy. Everything is fine and ready to go. I don't want nothing. I'm not even asking for child support. My daughter's school, her babysitter, her nanny, her gymnastics, her swimming, her dancing, her healthcare, her all of that. I take care of it. I've always done. I don't need any.
I just like to express this one thing. All these girls be like, thank you to my man. And I want to say, to my hands, thank you to my hands. To my hands, thank you to my hands. Listen, for me knowing how to fight and me training hard, I make millions of dollars just from beating people up. So, to my hands, thank you to my hands. To my hands, thank you to my hands.
Started quietly, the way most modern storms do. Not with a press conference or a screaming headline, but with a clip. Just a few seconds long. Claressa Shields, someone fans had only ever known as fearless, disciplined, and unbreakable, was sitting in front of a camera. She looked tired. Not angry. Not defensive. Just emotionally worn down. Her voice wasn't shaking at first, but there was something in her eyes that made people stop scrolling. This wasn't trash talk. This wasn't boxing bravado. This was someone reaching the edge of holding it together. And the internet felt it immediately. Within minutes, the clip was everywhere: TikTok, X, Instagram. Suddenly, what had been whispered about for weeks exploded into full-blown chaos. For years, Claressa Shields had been presented as the definition of strength. Not just inside the ring, but in life. She was the fighter who beat impossible odds. The woman who refused to be doubted. The champion who never backed down. Fans admired her toughness, but they also admired her emotional control. She didn't cry publicly. She didn't spiral online. She handled pressure with a calm that felt earned. So when people saw her breaking down, not theatrically, not for attention, it felt like something sacred had cracked. And once that image fractured, there was no easy way to put it back together. At the same time, the names Remy Ma and Papoose were already floating through conversations like shadows. They were a couple once praised for loyalty, survival, and growth. A marriage that had survived prison time, industry pressure, and relentless public judgment. For many fans, Remy and Papoose symbolized endurance. The kind of relationship that didn't just survive storms, but proved storms could make you stronger. When Claressa became connected to that story, people didn't know how to process it. Was she an outsider? A disruptor? Or was she caught in something far more complicated than anyone wanted to admit? The early signs had been subtle. Too subtle for casual fans to notice at first. Social media posts stopped aligning the way they once had. Support that used to feel loud became quiet. Appearances felt tense instead of warm. Interviews that once flowed easily suddenly seemed guarded. People ignored it because they wanted to believe in the image they already loved. Admitting cracks would mean admitting the story might not have a clean ending. Then Remy Ma's energy shifted. She didn't scream. She didn't cry. She didn't beg for sympathy. Instead, she moved with confidence. The kind that makes people uncomfortable when emotions are raw. She posted, spoke, and showed up with a calm that some fans praised as strength and others interpreted as cold. That divide mattered because the internet doesn't just react to facts. It reacts to feelings. And Remy's composure made people project intentions onto her that she never explicitly stated. Every word was dissected. Every pause was analyzed. Every move felt strategic, whether it actually was or not. The narrative began forming in real time, shaped less by evidence and more by perception. Papoose, meanwhile, became the most talked about silence on the internet. He didn't rush to defend anyone. He didn't rush to explain. He didn't rush at all. And in a world where silence often speaks louder than words, fans filled the gap themselves. Some saw restraint. Others saw guilt. Some believed he was protecting everyone involved. Others believed he was protecting himself. And with every hour he remained quiet, the speculation grew heavier. That's when Claressa spoke again. This time, the wall fully cracked. Words weren't polished. Her emotions weren't filtered. She talked about pressure, about feeling misunderstood, about being painted into a role she never asked for. When her voice faltered, it didn't sound like weakness. It sounded like exhaustion. The kind that comes from being strong for too long without being allowed to be human. For fans who had followed her career, this wasn't just drama anymore. It was painful. Watching someone who always stands tall finally sit down emotionally forces people to confront a truth they often avoid. Strength does not mean invincibility. Social media reacted the only way it knows how, by choosing sides. Claressa's supporters flooded timelines with messages of empathy, reminding everyone that champions bleed too, just not always in the ring. Others defended Remy fiercely, arguing that confidence does not equal cruelty, and that women are not required to perform pain in order to be believed. Then there were those who turned their frustration toward Papoose, accusing him of letting women take the fall while he remained protected behind silence. The drama wasn't just about three individuals anymore. It became a mirror reflecting how audiences judge emotion, loyalty, and power. Old clips resurfaced like ghosts. Interviews that once felt harmless suddenly seemed loaded. Comments that once passed unnoticed now looked like warnings. Fans began stitching timelines together, constructing narratives that felt convincing even when the facts were incomplete. And that is the danger of viral moments. Emotion fills in gaps faster than truth ever could. All of it, Claressa's breakdown remained the emotional center. Not because she was right or wrong, but because it was undeniably real. People weren't reacting to gossip. They were reacting to vulnerability. And vulnerability makes people uncomfortable, especially when it comes from someone they expect to be strong at all times. The pressure to always perform resilience had finally taken its toll. Remy Ma, watching the public response, became a symbol rather than a person. To some, she was empowered. To others, heartless. Rarely was she allowed to be complex. But complexity doesn't trend well online. Neither does nuance. So the story flattened, sharpened, and spread faster than any of them could control. As for Papoose, his silence didn't ease the situation. It intensified it. With every passing day, the absence of a statement felt heavier, like tension slowly tightening rather than releasing. What began as a pause transformed into a pressure point. In the age of instant reactions, silence is rarely perceived as neutral. Fans searched for meaning in the quiet, dissecting every public appearance, every repost, every subtle absence online, hoping to find clarity where none was offered. With each unanswered moment, the questions multiplied. People wanted resolution. They wanted accountability. They wanted a clear explanation that would make sense of what they had witnessed unfold in real time. Supporters waited for reassurance. Critics waited for confirmation. Neutral observers waited for context. But none of it came. Instead, there was distance, a reminder that real love does not unfold according to comment sections or trending hashtags. The expectation that someone owes immediate access to their emotional process is a product of the internet, not reality. Papoos's silence stood in sharp contrast to the noise surrounding him. Blog spéculated. Commentators filled gaps with opinion. Clips replayed endlessly, often stripped of nuance and reduced to moments designed for engagement rather than understanding. Yet he remained quiet. Not defensive. Not performative. Simply absent from the conversation everyone else seemed desperate to control. That absence became its own narrative. One that revealed more about public impatience than about his intentions. For some fans, the silence felt frustrating, even disappointing. They interpreted it as avoidance, a refusal to clarify his role. Others viewed it differently, as restraint, as a man choosing not to pour fuel onto a fire already burning out of control. In a culture that rewards immediacy, choosing not to speak can feel radical. It denies the audience the closure they believe they deserve. And that denial often provokes discomfort. What many failed to consider was the human cost behind that quiet. Healing does not announce itself. Processing betrayal, confusion, or heartbreak is not linear. It does not follow a schedule dictated by viral momentum. Real emotional work happens off camera, in spaces the public never sees. Papoose's silence suggested that whatever was happening was being handled privately, without spectacle, without performance, and that reality clashed with online expectations. Social media thrives on immediacy. It demands statements, explanations, emotional transparency on command. But relationships, especially fractured ones, do not operate under those rules. They require time, reflection, and painful honesty that cannot be rushed. Silence, in that context, is not emptiness. It is space. Days turned into weeks. The tension remained unresolved. The lack of clarity did not quiet the conversation, it prolonged it. But slowly, a different understanding began to surface. Not every story reaches closure publicly. Not every answer belongs to an audience. Sometimes the most honest response is not a carefully worded post or an emotional video. It is stepping back and allowing reality to unfold without commentary. Papoose's silence did not give people what they wanted, but it revealed something more uncomfortable and more real. Healing does not trend. Accountability is not always public. Closure is rarely immediate. In a world obsessed with instant answers, his quiet became a reminder that real life moves slower, and sometimes that slowness is necessary to survive what cannot be explained in a single moment.